Hi guys, my name is Juan once again, this random life, here with the Ice Queen Audra. Wonderful. It might be a little dark, so I put the exposure up to make it brighter. It's off. Today's an off day, so it's kind of live, but not really.
Yeah. So I'm not this white, I promise.
And yeah, me neither. Even though my shirt makes me look that way,
I
which
know
you guess you get.
you're
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get new shirts. I have a new shirt coming, and it's going to be a lot different and a lot cooler, hopefully. This
Well, those are
one,
actually pretty. Those are neat, actually.
thanks. I didn't really get to pick this style. They
Oh,
kind
like
of
an
just did it
avatar
for
kind of
me.
thing.
Well, no, this is actually my art. So I
Because I
created this
just
art.
watched a video. It's called the Real Indian Dad something. Have you seen that? Every
Mm,
time he shows up on the video, he's got the cartoon head.
oh, okay. Yeah, I saw
It's
something
called
like
the Real
that.
Indian Dad, and
Yeah.
he's speaks Indian and he has funny. It's hilarious, but yeah, but that's
I
right. I
gotta
like
check it
that
out.
the new avatar looking
Yeah,
things that people are doing now.
the AI. Yep, it's cool. I like it. So, Ice Queen, what started you being the Ice Queen?
Which okay, well, I had already been in recovery for about a year or so. My daughter had moved out of their house, and I moved into her house. It's a little cottage house. It was over by 8th Avenue. It was just a little teeny house, but it was kind of like my first after being sober for a little bit uh, of having my own little place. So I got in there and I decorated and cleaned it and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Um, well, actually, I'm sorry. I should back up. How it got started. I was living with my daughter prior to that,
Okay.
and we were all living in this house, and I was like the housekeeper, taking care of the kids and everything like that.
Yeah.
And some people might remember if you're from South Florida, but we had a thing down in South Florida in Fort Lauderdale called the Polar Cup.
Okay.
Okay, he was kind of like the ice cream guy, except for he only sold this like lemon slush,
Okay.
and it had little bits of lemon in it, and it was
Mm.
like the best thing since sliced bread.
Okay.
I mean, you would chase him down before you chase down the ice cream guy. So we were having this nostalgia moment at my daughter's house, and we're telling her about it. So I wanted to try to recreate um, the dessert, the lemon thing,
Yeah.
the slush. So I looked up on Google and trying to figure out how to make the lemon slush. How do you make it slush or whatever? Because if you put it in the freezer, it's just going to be ice cube.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out how they get it to be slushy and not freeze. So I looked it up, and finally found out with a sugar ratio thing or whatever. So I
Cool.
made like a simple syrup, I guess.
Okay.
So did that with the lemon juice, and we put it in the freezer for a little while, and it came out. And like, so I have a picture of it. So every my memory thing comes up on my Facebook,
Yeah.
and I'll share it on my. I've done it since I started. I share it, and it said this is how it all started. Because
Wow.
after I made that, I didn't want to get rid of it because I made a little batch of it. So I put it in a Ziploc in the freezer.
Okay.
And then the next day it came out because I wanted to have some, and it came out, and it was that
Still the
Italian ice.
slushy.
No, the Italian ice
Whoa.
the Italian ice texture.
Consistency. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, son of a. That's how that's done like that.
That's cool.
So
Look
yep.
at
So at the
that.
time I was in early recovery. I was still going to my 90 and 90 days thing
Yep.
or whatever. So I wanted to make the Italian ice for we have a 30th, we have an anniversary for the people celebrating their anniversaries on the end of the last Saturday of every month. So what I did is I started making the Italian ice and putting it in these Home Depot little buckets and stuff.
Okay.
So I started out there. I didn't have a machine.
It was
I
all
was
from
making
home.
everything by hand.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I was taking the stuff and I was putting it in the freezer and then taking it out and having to bust it down
Yeah.
and
Mash
stir it
it.
with and you stir it with a hand mixer, put it back in the freezer, bring it back out. So
Whoa.
yeah, so I started doing that. Then fast forward to living at my daughter's house, and I decided now I got some time under my belt, so I thought I would uh maybe invest in starting my business. Was I ready to do something like that? Well, Italian ice. So I went online and I ordered that dumb kit with the cart with the umbrella, and they send you 30 buckets of Italian ice. And
Okay. Like
yeah,
kind of like a little food, like a
yeah,
little
big
cart thing.
mistake.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Don't do it
Don't do it. Yeah, it's you spend a lot of money for something that it's not that as expensive to do on your own. And
on your
so
own.
it was but not knowing that I signed into this
Yep.
contract thing. You pay
Mm.
somebody, so I wound up you wound up paying $11,000 for something that only costs about 1,500. That kind of deal.
Okay. It's like that.
Yeah, but so here comes this big semi truck down the road. Not too long later, with all my. So I went to uh, the Rent a Center
Okay.
And in my little house, in my kitchen, I moved up my dining room table, and I put these 2 upright freezers in there. So I had all the buckets in there from the delivery, and then I had the ones in my little shoebox buckets I made. Well, the kids in the neighborhood, there's a lot of kids in this neighborhood.
Okay.
So my grandkids would come over and stuff like that, and they would play with those kids, and I would give them some. So then, before I knew it, they nicknamed me Ice Queen.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then so I would see the bus come down the road to bring the kids after school, and hear this gaggle of kids coming up the road
Yeah.
heading to my house.
Oh my
So yeah,
goodness.
so and that was like an everyday thing. Well, I didn't have my business established
Yeah.
then, so
So it was just
not
from the
yet.
house, and
Yeah, for
but
that point, yeah.
you already had a great following. If you had all the kids, that's generations
Right.
already.
Well, I was still battling with not having enough money to really get a business up and going, because I was only where I was working. I should say only. My mom taught me, don't say only, because only $5. It's only
Yeah.
only on sale.
It's only on
Yeah, it's
sale.
only. That's a bad word. So I was working at Subway. I had been there for like, I think, 2.5 years by then, and so my boss was cool enough to let me try to get my business going while I did that. Which I got a lot of stuff from my boss. She was great. She's a big inspiration and mentor.
That's awesome.
But yeah. So my first experience with the Italian Ice was bringing my cart down to one of my AA things and doing the outside my thing. I tried that. Then, now, mind you, I don't have a vehicle.
Okay.
Okay, so this wasn't a well thought out plan.
So you had to take the bus. You had to walk.
Huh?
You had to
No,
walk.
no.
Take the bus.
At the time, yeah, at the time I had the bus, and I had people give rides and stuff like that.
Okay.
This is before I got my car, but it was not well thought out, because I had this Italian Ice cart and buckets and stuff, and how do I get it to where I need to go do
Point A,
anything
point
to
B,
make money?
yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so I think right before I bought the cart, though, I think I established some stuff was, I lived right down the street when I moved into the house. I lived right down the street from Oakcrest Elementary,
Okay.
right there at 8th Avenue.
Okay.
So how I actually started, I should step back. How I actually started was I had a 10 by 10 tent.
Okay.
I had a folding table.
Okay.
I had a generator, and I made my own banner.
Okay.
I went to Hobby Lobby and bought that burlap material or whatever, and I painted, and it said "Free Italian Ice Mondays."
Whoa, Mondays.
Yep. So I went
every
over there
Monday.
every Monday, and
Whoa.
those kids came running out there. So I had a little tip cup, and I was making like $60
That's not
because
bad.
they threw tip money. So anyway, it's kind of how it started from the bottom. I mean, I was literally from the bottom up.
Yeah, but I think that's the best ways of doing things, especially if you're going to be running your own place like you are now.
A lot of mistakes.
Yes, but you need those
Lord,
mistakes.
a lot of prayer. I had days where I hit my knees a lot.
Yeah.
Because I used to think, what did I get myself into? Be in early recovery, trying to start a business, not really knowing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
When I first had to find out about my DPPR thing to get the state licenses to sell and stuff like that. But what I had was, it didn't really qualify for us. I didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
I just, you know what? I laughed when you sent me that text about how you parachute.
Yeah, I jump in with both feet with no parachute and no understanding of landing.
I started this business exact the same way. Except for I didn't have a parachute.
Yeah.
I just jumped in.
Yep.
So, but luckily it worked out. But I had a lot of support. I had a lot of help. Mom, which I saw that you read my thing with my mom.
Yeah.
But early recovery, trying to start a business, was probably not a good mix for some. But I made it. I was determined, because I found something I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
When I started making the Italian Ice, I found out that I really, really loved doing that.
And I think it's good for the beginning of recovery to find something like that that's out of your norm. That's out of your norm and out of something different. Because I did this for years, but it wasn't until I was like in my recovery when I actually wanted to take it seriously. Like actually take it seriously, and I could put a lot of passion and a lot of faith into it, which obviously it's done wonders for you.
Yeah. Like I said, it took a lot of soul searching too, because by nature, I'm sure most people, by nature, I don't have a lot of self-esteem, very low self-esteem kind of thing. I underestimate my ability.
Yeah.
I'm my own worst critic.
Of course.
Learning from when I was going to college and stuff, and they were doing this interview stuff, and they tell you, list me like your best quality, you know, and you're like, what's your worst quality? Well, I get
Yeah,
spotted out right
yeah,
away. What's your best quality? And I'm like, you know, well, why is it so hard for you to just be okay with critiquing yourself or uh,
patting yourself on
patting
the
yourself on
back.
the back kind of thing? Yeah,
Yeah.
which I don't do. I have a hard time doing anyway. Which I found out, you know, some of the stuff when I did my 4 step is,
Hmm.
you know, finding out that, you know, I wasn't that nurturing person that I thought I was, you know,
Yeah.
that motherly thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was okay. I was always trying to fix everybody.
Of course, not
But
yourself.
yeah, but starting a business though, it definitely was. Um, I don't think I want to say scary. I think starting my own business in recovery was something I should have was more thought out.
Yeah,
But like I said, luckily it turned out
it worked
okay.
out.
But for the most part, I didn't plan it the way it should have been planned. Um, but what kept me going was the idea that I enjoyed doing it. It was something I found that I really liked making the Italian ice. It was fun creating something
Yeah.
because I guess I don't know. I guess I have that creative thing. I don't know if you got the email
Which one? Oh
I
yeah,
got
yes.
about the book.
Oh no, no, I didn't get that one.
Oh, okay. I write recovery poetry,
Okay,
and
cool.
I published my own self published 2 books actually.
Okay,
One is a Grateful Alcoholic,
okay,
and the other one is when I think my first year when I was getting sober, I was staying with my mom. God bless her heart, because when I got arrested and one of um, the judges things was allowing me to go to treatment for 6 months, inpatient
okay.
treatment, and it was through the court, so I couldn't leave. So it
Of
was at the
course.
SARS up there on Airport Road,
Okay.
where my mom used to work back in the day before they built those buildings out front. It was like when they had the drunk tank bay in the back.
Oof.
But she lived out in the forest, and she came every Thursday for family group. She came every weekend to pick me up for furlough for the Saturday Sunday. But so she was a huge part of my
That's
recovery.
awesome.
Yeah. So and then I just lost my train of thought, which I'm good at.
It's
Really
all
good.
right.
It's really good at.
So, as a challenge that you had while being the ice queen and creating this little empire of yours,
My little
like
empire. I like that word.
what challenges? I mean, obviously there was many, but what challenges really were the ones that made you question on quitting? Like, this isn't for me.
um.
Could be like a
Yeah,
building.
no, for me, the about for quitting, I think mine probably had to be, um, what's the word? What's the best word to look for? Like wanting to give up if things weren't going the way I was hoping or fast enough. So
Yeah.
my being
Oh yeah.
impatient and things like that we're good at, right? I think that would probably be some of the early ones that would want me to quit
Yeah.
was because I can't do this.
Yeah.
You
You're
know, so if
not.
I
You're
get
not
to a
succeeding fast enough.
yeah, that or I get to an obstacle,
Okay.
and before I have a chance to examine that obstacle and figure out, because I'm that person that, you know, that the solution's over here, and I go that way first.
Yeah.
For some odd reason,
Yep.
I go that way first. So I think early I want to say early recovery, because I know now today I do a little bit better at that. Like on the way here, after that little meltdown I had on
Yeah.
the way here, I took a deep breath and just like, okay, it's really not that
It's
bad.
okay.
It
It's
wasn't
all
that
good.
bad. But I once I assessed the whole situation, what it was is I broke down because I lost control.
Mm-hmm.
I had no control over my thing that was happening.
Yeah.
I didn't have the money in my account. I had to wait for Stu to call me back.
Yeah.
So
To do
once
everything.
I got back, you know, to sit down, I realized, you know, where that came from. But yeah, the challenge that I found early on was the an obstacle that I would come across, and I would not have the ability to have faith in myself,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And
Understood.
yep, and then but something would always keep me going, because I knew that, well, I can't quit,
Yeah.
because if I quit, then yeah,
Starting over again.
well, yeah, that, and you have the money you haven't either money you haven't invested, or I needed the money, so I couldn't quit, because you know,
Yeah.
where's the money going to come from if I
Exactly.
quit? That kind of thing. So that was the biggest one, and I think the other one, honestly, if I like really searched down, is I didn't want anybody to think I was a failure.
Yeah.
So I think, I
You
mean, if
want
I
to
really deep
succeed.
down and really
Yeah.
get honest with myself, I said I think it's I don't want anybody to see me as a quitter. because
Yeah.
I'm supposed to prove now. I'm sober now,
Yeah.
so I have to prove that I don't quit. I can follow through with everything. So
Hmm.
I set myself up to a standard
Yeah. Which is
that
important.
yeah.
It is
So
important.
it,
And
it
I'm proud of you for even acknowledging that. A lot of people, it's hard for them to acknowledge things like that. I mean, I know, I wish I could be perfect. Nobody's perfect.
I am
but,
perfect.
but I am perfect. But no, like, I will, I'm definitely understand, like, whenever I have something that's right in front of me that seems difficult, or it's an emotional blockage to me, I am easily to be the one that's like, you know what? Is this important to me? Is it this important? Can I just give up? And I can be there, but it's the feel, the gut feel that you get
Yep.
when you're succeeding and you're doing right. It feels so good compared to the oh, I'm just gonna give up and fail feeling. Because
Yep.
when it's there, then you feel bad that you gave up and fell, and then you start thinking about all these positive things you want to do with what you're
Yeah.
doing. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, let's try this again.
Fear can be a great. There's healthy fear,
Yes.
and then unhealthy fear. But I think for me, some of it, I have a lot of fear.
Yeah.
I mean, fear of unknown, fear of money, fear of everything. So you have to, some days I just gotta drown out the noise.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because a lot of times it's more me
It's in your head
exasperating
than
stuff.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, exasperating
This
stuff.
is going to lead to this, and then this is going to lead to that, and then this going to get into
Exactly.
this thing, and this, and you know what? None of
And I
that's
go
ever
from this to
happening.
boom.
Yeah, and,
This
and really,
big
it's like
old.
this tiny little thing going on.
I know, making mountains out of molehills.
Yep,
But
100%.
I think that's a leftover from when when I don't for me when I was drinking and using. Because whenever I had to explain something to my mom, it was seemed minor. I had to blow it out of proportion
Yeah,
for so I can get that help from her I
of
needed because it
course.
had to make it seem like the world was coming
Yeah,
penny.
yep,
Okay, so
yeah,
I think there's
yep.
it's a carryover sometimes. So
Flashbacks.
yeah, I know. We just have to they say play it forward kind of thing.
Yeah,
But no, I think the nice thing about having a little bit more time under my belt is the fact that um, I know that no matter what's going on in my life, that not drinking isn't going to be the solution anymore.
yeah,
I mean, trust me, like I said, I've had some times where I think when I had my cart and had met my husband, and he wasn't home, and I was trying to get that my Italianized cart up on
yeah.
a trailer that has a ramp on it,
Okay.
but I had already put the ice and the buckets and
So it
everything
was
in it,
heavy,
and I had
heavy.
to go. Well, I couldn't get it up the ramp up to the trailer, so I'm thinking, trying to figure it out, and I had to be somewhere for an event. So he has this pulley thing that you hook onto the thing, and you can
Yeah,
say, "Well, I'm trying to do that," and the little wires are broken on it, so it's sticking, and like,
yeah.
and I think that's one of the first times I think that I actually hit my knees in the driveway,
Really.
crying, and I just asked God, I said, "Please help me figure this out."
Yeah.
And actually, the solution was just empty out the damn thing and put it up on the.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
all the effort
yeah.
you're trying
It's a
to
little
get.
extra work, but it would be way easier.
See, I told you, solution.
Yeah,
Over
yeah.
here,
Nope, it makes sense.
Audra goes that way.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so it's always the easiest way out. But no, the having a business is satisfying, hard. It's everything.
It's everything.
It's satisfying. It's
so
hard.
much fun. It's hard work.
It's determined. Yeah.
You
Time
you can
consuming.
leave your main job, your 9 to 5. You can work your 40 hours a week or whatever.
Or you can just make a sugar daddy and just be all done with it.
Or you can start your own business and work nonstop every day, nonstop. You go to sleep and you wake up like 2 hours. You're like, oh my goodness, I forgot to do something. Yeah,
yeah,
that's where I'm at.
That's where you're at.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, I'll lay down and I'll be like, oh, I need to write this down.
I'll tell you what, today's little mishap today. I'll say a little mishap. Well, let's demeanor it a little bit. Of leaving something as simple as leaving my debit card at the house cause a chain reaction.
Yeah,
it is the most bizarre thing.
Yep.
The chain reaction that happened but that chain reaction could have, if I didn't have such a solid foundation for recovery, that definitely could have. Because I mean, crying in a parking lot at the bank because your day just totally went to shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I cuss on here.
Okay. Yeah. Good, no problem. Oh fuck, she cussed.
Thank God. I didn't know if this was G-rated or
no way.
Start singing Disney tunes and stuff.
I have Olaf right there.
Do
you want to do you want to do a podcast?
I love Olaf.
Yeah.
But yes, but recovery has its good days, its bad days, but the best days is when you just don't drink.
Yeah.
And today would have been one of those days.
Yeah.
It
I
absolutely,
get
for
it.
me, would have been one of those days because I found that I drank to remove myself from having to deal with life on life's terms.
Yeah. It's my biggest issue was my emotions. My emotions will always get to me, and like my brain does. My brain's got me on this track, and this track's leading me on this whole other adventure, and it's crazy. I'm so amazed with the people that I've met through recovery, and the reason why I'm even in this predicament at this point is because
Yeah.
of the background that I have, and the friends and my fiance who, without her, I would have. I don't know. I don't
That
know.
and
Yeah, I have no idea what kind of ending I would have been at, but well, it wouldn't have been
yep,
this.
yours, your girlfriend, your
Yeah,
wife, and mine was my mom.
yeah.
I'll tell you what.
It's lucky. I mean, my parents were definitely helpful at a young age, but I can see, eventually when you go through stuff like that, it's hard to continue on when you don't know if it's
Yeah.
going to be their last time doing it.
Well, I had a hard time coming to grasp with the fact that I had become an alcoholic because I didn't grow up in an abusive family at all. My
Yeah,
parents were like the coaches of our football and baseball
you're
teams, and
always like the
they were
positive
always,
and
yeah, went on
helpful and
vacations. It was like your everyday. My dad was an alcoholic, but we never knew it because he
yeah.
didn't drink in front of us ever.
Okay.
But he was, I guess he was a really bad alcoholic, but he just never drank in front of us or we knew anything about it till later on after when they got divorced and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it was hard for me to grasp the truth that because I always pictured I had the stereotypical
Yeah.
about alcoholics and addicts and
Yeah. Of
stuff
course.
because I didn't grow up in
Yeah.
that type of family. So I
You
always see
can
them on
easily be
TV
like,
or that.
I'm not an addict.
Yeah.
That's easy.
So when it came time for me, then I had to come to the reality that it did, that
Hmm.
I had accepted the idea that I was.
Wow. Yeah. This is
Well,
all
I
with
was
you and me.
that was the pickle that can't become a cucumber again.
Yeah.
That was a hard concept too. Yet you can't undo it.
Yeah. No.
You
But you can
know.
always work through it, which is nice.
Yeah,
Which is
and
always the nice part.
which is was I was explaining to you that before about um for me when I got sober the first time was in 2010 when I went to treatment for 6 months and I got out of treatment and I spent 3 years being just not drinking.
Yeah.
I wasn't even really in recovery. I just wasn't drinking because I
Yeah.
didn't do anything I was supposed to do. I was just
There for
basically,
the ride.
yeah, it got people off my back and it
Yeah.
got things that I wanted. So I was
Yeah.
very, I was the same person. I was just wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
I didn't work on myself. I didn't work on the steps. I didn't do nothing.
I think my
And
biggest fallout on
yep,
those working the steps was the feeling of like I can do it. I can do this in front of all the people. I can go to the meetings. I can do this in front of all these people.
looks
Walk the
good on
walk.
the
Yeah,
surface,
it looks
doesn't it?
good. It does great. But why do I feel this way? Like I'm not doing the right thing.
Yep.
And then that's when it's like, okay,
And
I need to start doing stuff in my
my brother
life.
Scott, he called me on it too. My brother Scott was really, he was one. I had a resentment, evil resentment. I had a resentment against my brother Scott because when he was out, he's an alcoholic, recovered alcoholic. Early on, and he went to the meetings and stuff like 6 months, and then he never went again, but he never drank again.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you just not drink and then you don't have to go to to the
Meetings
meetings
ever
again? You're done.
again.
Because early on, I just couldn't figure that out.
Yeah.
Didn't and so I had a resentment for him for the longest time for that. But then when I got sober the first time, relapsed in July, right around my birthday in July of 2013, and I was that's what I
Yeah.
was talking about. I wrecked on my, I actually got a DUI on my electric scooter, but I wrecked on it first.
Wow.
First night back from after my relapse, I went to the Jade Lounge.
Okay.
That was the guy that I wanted to be, I wanted to be with, or I thought he was cool. He drank, and so
Yeah.
I had to drink to be, thought he would like me for if I drank. Well, the first night out, I drove down the road to the Jade Lounge, got drunk on my way back, coming down
Oh.
coming down 8th Avenue on my electric scooter. I had to take a right on 35th Street at the AutoZone or whatever it is right
Yeah.
there at the car.
Okay.
And I guess coming around the corner, I just kept going. And
Oh man.
luckily, there's a long area of grass
Yeah.
because I must have hit that, went over that into the. I woke up in the hospital
Oh
next
wow.
morning.
Whoa.
Of course, my daughter found it amusing, so she took a selfie with me with my big nose because I
Busted it open and you're all
yeah.
bruised.
But that was
and-
like that wasn't even an eye opener for me. Like, dude, you can't drink.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, figure that one out.
You relapsed the first night you
Yeah.
relapsed. You wrecked
Mm.
your bike, wound up in the hospital. So
Yep.
But-
I've been there.
yep, yep. And then the second time I got sober was the one. That
Yeah.
was the one when I was explaining about the lost all self-respect and stuff, and
Yeah.
then here we are,
Yep.
and then now I have a whole new fears,
Yeah.
because now it's not my ice cream truck anymore.
Really.
Well, the ice cream truck wasn't.
It wasn't the
It, it,
final. It
it,
wasn't the.
well, it's not as binding.
Okay.
Like if I didn't want to do an event, I just called them up and said, "Oh,
Yeah.
I don't feel like
It's
coming."
not so serious.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's perfect.
It's not so
Perfect word.
serious.
Not so. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't as. You didn't have to be as committed.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I don't have to be as committed here per se because
Yeah.
it's my own business, but financially, now I have a whole new stress.
Of course.
With finance because I
Of
got to be
course.
here because I
Yeah.
got to pay the bills and
You gotta do all that.
yeah.
So it's a new
stress.
challenge. It's a new new
Good.
lifestyle
No, you said
and a new challenge.
You said you
Yep.
said that. You said the
Yep.
perfect word. It's a new. It's a new challenge.
Let
Obviously,
me
when
take
I'm. Yep.
So, as a challenge here, talking through the challenges. Now that you're here, what are your what are you excited about here being at the Ocala Mall?
I being a part of this, I actually feel like a business owner. Even
Yeah.
though I had the trailer and I've had my business and stuff like that with my dessert trailer, and that was really great learning experience on running a business. But it was a little lax. It was a lot lax.
Okay.
To kind of do here, got to do. It's a little bit more. I got to make sure I'm open on time. You have to make sure you have all your food. You
Yeah.
have to make sure you have the money that you need to buy all that
Yeah.
stuff. So it's more of a challenge, but I like the idea that I feel more like a business owner now.
Yeah.
And now I actually have my workman's comp insurance, so I actually have employees
Yeah.
that I pay through payroll. That thing. So that feels. It's almost like I've reached one of my goals.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say that I've ended at the destination because they say that's not a destination;
It's a journey.
that kind of thing. So the idea that I have physically, I actually have my own business now
Mm-hmm. With employees.
with employees.
Yeah.
There's a new sense of gratitude or a new sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
And
with
with a
new
new
fears,
set of challenges.
but new set of challenges, different challenges.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's what makes life exciting.
I know. And you saw that the post I wrote about my mom. So one of the biggest reasons that keeps me going is every time I feel like I can't do this
Yeah.
or I'm so sore. Like right now, I am like in unbelievable pain because that TENS unit I bought from the massage lady, in case she's watching this, I used it last night.
Yeah.
And thinking TENS units usually just kind of do the one that
Massage
I bought.
you apparently,
Well,
right?
it's like a deep tissue thing.
Okay.
So I put it. I had it on my lower back last night and had it on for a little while I'm working and stuff. I woke up this morning, I'm like, I can't move because it worked your muscles.
Yeah.
So it feels like I did like 1,000 push-ups,
Oh,
like
nice.
1,000 sit-ups. So
I need
yeah,
to do that.
no, I know I'm my back. It hurts.
I know, but I need
I
to do it
couldn't
in the
figure out
front.
why it's hurting. So whenever my feet are hurting and I just can't go on, I'm tired. I always come back to my mom.
Yeah.
So 16 years she battled cancer. In the last few years, she lost the use of her right arm because they took some lymph nodes out, and we think that maybe they might have damaged the nerve. So for the last 2 years, she's always had her hand in a sling. But that woman kept on cross stitching with one hand. She was always going, and I'll tell you what, when I was in my second recovery, she had this big Tundra truck that she had, this 4-door Tundra that she used to pull the trailers with when she used to. In order to get my license back, which is godsend, she's the reason why I was able to do all that. I had to get a breathalyzer in the car.
Okay.
Well, I don't have a car.
Yeah.
Because I'm a retard, and I used all my money on drinking and drugs. So okay, so we don't have cars. So she was kind enough to put the breathalyzer in her truck.
Wow.
Now, mind you,
every morning she has to go out.
Not every morning, but what it was is when that buzzer goes off, you had to blow in it. Whoever was driving.
Okay.
It didn't matter if it was me or whoever, but whoever was driving, and you had to make sure that whoever was driving was sober. Well, nobody else drank in the house, in her house, and she had her truck. But God bless her, though. When she does have her truck and I'm not with her, and that thing goes off, she's got one arm.
Yeah.
So she actually had to pull over. And she would have to blow into the thing, and then she went, get out the thing. So for 6 months, she did that. So it's those things that that I think about with my mom. My mom is one of the main factors that keeps me going when things are getting
Yeah.
really bad. Because I think if she didn't quit,
Yeah.
she endured 16 years, and in the last couple, 3 or 4 years, it was bad with the new chemo and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yep.
I'm
So,
sorry.
huh?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, believe it or not, me and my mom, the last 7 years, when I've been sober for 8, we were like frickin' frack.
Yeah.
So we had a newfound friendship thing. We did everything together. We went to our Boston trips together.
Yeah.
And when mom said, "I got a plan," I'm like, "Oh God, no."
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, what is it now? What do I gotta do now and stuff. So, but because I was sober when she passed, and I was there
Yeah.
when she passed. Um, I'm at peace with the fact because
That's
she was
good.
74 when she passed. Yeah, 74, 75 when she passed. So I got closure. That's
Yeah.
what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Closure. Because for the last 30 days or 3 weeks before, she was at home hospice. And so I would go there every single night after I was done at Subway or wherever I was at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing the trailer. And I would go there every night. I'd drive out to the forest out there where she lived, and Papa would take care of her during the day, and then I would come at night so
Wow.
that he can get some rest. So every night. Because I was sober, I was able to do all
Yeah, you
that.
were able to be there.
Yep. And then besides the fact that I think there was one day I was visiting before she was still alert and she was still fine. And she was sitting in the recliner, and I had like sat on the floor in front of her, and I had put my head down in her lap, and she was like stroking my hair.
Oh.
Yep. And she's like, I can go now. She says, I got my baby girl back.
No.
And
You're gonna make me cry. Stop.
No.
You're gonna make me cry.
Yeah. So, and I know. Now, see, now you said that. Now you're gonna make me cry.
Well,
I was holding my tears back, and so you had to like talk about crying.
Sorry, man. Sorry, I cry on commercials, so real life stuff is even worse.
But no, so for her to say that,
Yeah.
put a lot of closure for me because there was time early on in the recovery too when I got my second year medallion. I know. I can't cry. I got new contacts.
Yeah.
They're gonna fill up with water and pop out.
You'll be okay.
So when I got my second year medallion, I gave her one too.
Yeah.
Because I told her she went to all my meetings with me.
She did.
Early on, she went to all my meetings
That's awesome.
to the point where I told her because she called me out.
Yeah.
I couldn't hide nothing because she would like, no, she didn't.
Yeah.
And she was like, stay out of my meetings.
Yeah.
But I gave her a 2-year medallion with me, my second year medallion. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yep. And she took one of my medallions. Oh, sorry. She took one of my medallions and turned it into a ring. Into like one of these rings. Has the thing on it. It was so cool. But yeah, no, my mom was my life force going through the whole thing. Yep. If it wasn't for her, I mean, her and Papa almost got divorced over me.
Whoa.
I mean, I was so bad that Papa's now he tells me, we able to have talks and stuff, and we go over there every week. And Papa would tell me, Audrey, I'm just gonna, God. There was times when I just wish you had died.
Yeah.
Well, because I was such a burden.
Sometimes it's easier.
And it puts it in a reality sense of how much of a burden I was.
Yeah.
On their relationship.
Yeah.
That he just wished I had died and just been. And it might be something ugly people don't want to, but it's a truth.
It is.
It is a truth.
And it's sad because there's a lot of us who also feel the same way about ourselves. About like the burden that we cause to other people that we want to take our own lives.
Well, that's where the selfishness comes in. Selfish concerns, selflessness, and all that stuff. Yeah, but
no,
self-centered.
Do that.
Self-centered. Yeah, it's not okay.
Everyone loves you, and you gone does not fix the problem.
No, it doesn't. It actually creates a bigger problem. Yep. And
which isn't my next fear.
Yeah. I thought about it a lot.
Generational. My kids, the drama, trauma, and the issues that my kids would have to go through if something like that would happen.
You break the cycle.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on now is breaking that cycle.
And see, like my grandkids right now, they probably wouldn't remember now because they were little when I got 8 years ago, and they're 15 now, so they probably don't remember. So they don't have
those memories.
They don't know they don't have the memories and stuff. Even though I was with my daughter when my grandsons, the ones that you probably seen here. Okay. I don't know if you've seen them or not. When they were younger, when I was living with them, that stint I was living before I got sober, I used to take Gavin to the daycare. Kalel had kindergarten or something like that. I took Gavin to the daycare on my electric scooter that I had before that, and I was still drinking. And I had one day when I woke up, came to. We don't wake up and come to. Yeah, we pass out and come to. And I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to get Gavin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. We have a long coffee table, and there's his feet sticking out at the end of the coffee table. He had fell asleep. I went and got him.
Oh, if you don't remember getting them and coming
No,
back home.
I'm
Oh
like
my
on a
goodness.
scooter, on my electric
That's
scooter.
terrifying.
So that was one of the moments, like, right before I did the second getting
Smacks in the
sober.
face and you're
That's
like,
one of
oh
them.
man.
The other one was here's some more reality. I'm wet in the bed all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, that was where my bladder just couldn't function no more. That was done with
Yep.
that. And then so those are just one thing just happened after another, and then that's when I woke up that day and I just didn't recognize who I was. And then that's the recovery I'm in right now.
Yeah.
When I
And
finally,
I mean, I think we all have to go through that, especially when we get through recovery. We have to go through those falls and those failures to be able to be like, well, obviously I can't do that. I can't
yeah,
do that. That's not a good thing for me to do. You got to have boundaries. We have to
yeah,
build these boundaries
yeah.
because before anything, we didn't have any. We didn't have an
No,
issue, you know, like,
we were too busy people pleasing,
yeah,
or we had to. No matter what, we put up with a
fix
lot of stuff to
ourselves.
get. Well, we had to put up with a lot to get if we wanted the drink or the drug or whatever.
Yeah.
We accepted everything,
Yeah.
no matter how bad it was. You
Yeah.
know, I went to neighborhoods where, you know, you asked me today, like when I did my 4th step with my sponsor, and I had some things. Obviously, some of us will take to the grave, but in the 4th step, you got to share that stuff. You got to
Yeah.
let it. You got to give it power. So I talked to my sponsor, and we're going through the 4th step, and there was like one thing on there I just didn't want to put on,
Yeah.
and I told her about it, but I didn't put it down, and she's like, "Well, it was if this makes it easier for you," she says, "Would you have done that sober?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Absolutely not." She said that means that wasn't you when you were
Yeah.
drinking, you were different, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
So I was able to like put that on paper and let that go. But I'll tell you, it's a reality check when
It
you have
is.
to, yep, to figure out who you are. And then, like I said, the second time when I got sober is when I really did all the work. I
Yeah.
truly dug in and did all the work.
Pick
Because
stuff
I
out.
honestly believe that if I hadn't done that this time around and found out who I really was, accepted the things that I really was, and the biggest part of my success for staying sober is I was okay with the idea that I would never be able to drink again.
Yeah.
I didn't have that the first time.
Yeah.
The first time I had this
Not even once for dinner?
right?
Not even once for dinner?
Just one.
Like, okay, like 2 beers, like at the beach,
I
right?
can do this.
Right?
He did it. I can do this
Yeah.
too.
No.
No, there was a word there's a word they have for it where I had this thing set aside thinking that one day I'll be able to.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I always had this thing in my mind that
Reservation.
one day, reservation. Thank you very much. That's one of the poems I have, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I really want to take a look at that.
my reservation. Yeah, I have a few good ones. I have "Dear Mommy," a letter from your unborn child.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Stop making me cry.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. But I have some good ones in it too. But the work that I did on my second recovery, because it was an honest to goodness wanting to get sober this time, because when I asked, you know, like I said, to have the obsession and all that removed and stuff, and it happened. So that transformation was, you know, that it started, it kicked off. So because of that and that work that I did and found all the truths and came to grips with my faults and tried to work on them, because, you know, it's always a work. And we had a guy at the centers that always said, "Was it practice makes perfect?" He goes, "Bullshit.
Yeah.
Practice makes progress.
Yeah. Nobody's
ever perfect."
Yeah.
So I like that idea, because then I don't have to try to reach for something that's unattainable.
Yeah.
You know, expectations, keep your expectations low. You never disappoint anybody.
Exactly.
But yeah, so this recovery here, the fact that I did do the work, and I did do a lot of soul searching and stuff like that. I truly believe that that's why the business that I have now is successful.
Yeah.
I wanted to play that down a little bit, like it's being, you know,
Yeah.
but it's successful.
It is.
To the most part, it is.
Where you've gotten, where you've been,
Right.
where you're getting to, it's
From
successful.
where I've been,
from where you're going,
from where I
you're
came
so
from
far
to where I am
successful.
today is probably like a jaw dropper for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Sometimes for me, it's a reality check for me too. But then sometimes I get scared. I'm like, did I go get myself in too deep?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
Are you
I
jinxing
feel
yourself?
that. Yeah. Like, well, of course, I want to listen. I have to recognize that sometimes I'm gonna sabotage it
Yeah.
so that when I step away, then I don't feel like the failure. It's because
Yeah.
it didn't work.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of me and I didn't want to do it, or because I gave up, or because it got too big for me. And so,
Yeah.
instead of keeping trying. So yeah, it's that first step to, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too big.
I
I
doubt.
did too much.
Yeah.
Start taking stuff
Is
away.
it good
But yeah.
enough?
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
I know, right?
Is it
Well,
worth it?
I do have days where I'm thinking about that Subway days, how easy you just get up in the morning and go to Subway
Yeah, do
and
your
bake
9 to
some bit
5.
of bread. Somebody else is taking care of all the bills
Yeah,
and all the.
all you do is pick up a paycheck and do your job.
Yeah, I have trust me, I have days like that. But
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
yeah, but
I feel like that
I'm in deep
sometimes.
now, so I'm up
It's,
shit's creek without battle
it's either
now.
going uphill or you're
From
going.
here, it's like down.
So what is your next goal? What is your next place that you want Ice Cream to be? You want
Um,
more stores, more employees?
and honestly, I don't know if I think I've always been like the keep it kind of small kind of thing.
Okay.
Like the house I'm in now, it's like a 2,700 square foot house. I want to sell the house. Yes, honey, in case you're watching this. I'd rather sell the house, 4.5 acres, go buy something small and quaint, like my original little cottage house.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you think about me, I'm like Little House on the Prairie kind of
Yeah.
thing, where, well, with amenities.
Yeah, of course. Wi-Fi,
right, yeah,
shower.
but that kind of quaintness. But I like the smaller home in the smaller places
Yeah.
and stuff like that, more quaint stuff. But no, I like the small space. I like the little place I have here. If I did anything beyond this, it would maybe be to get like a catering truck
Okay.
to maybe go do like little events like parties or something like that, and maybe only bring one thing like the Italian ice.
Okay.
And take it to like the parties or events or something like that, or maybe a little
Yeah.
ice cream,
Do that
and
thing.
keep it simplified. Yeah, because
That'd be fun.
I'm always I actually need to stop. It's like this is one of those unhealthy things. I'm always trying to create something else.
Yeah.
Instead of sticking with, and I've always had the problem when I had started my dessert truck. I was constantly changing my menu all
Yeah.
the time because I would create something else and I'd add this to that. This would be cool and that would be cool.
Yeah.
But the menu I have now, I have to just stop and keep it with that.
Where you're at right now, because you have to. You can't make everything. And
well, I dabble in everything. I draw
oh,
poetry. Well, I
yeah.
jailhouse drawing.
Yeah.
I do the thing with the magazines and the deodorant.
Okay, and then you make your little inks from there.
Yeah, you should.
Interesting.
When we get off the film, I'll have to show you a
Yeah.
couple of them because
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, because somebody says, "Why don't you do that?" And I crochet and I cross
You
stitch
do
and I do it all.
And
Okay,
I videograph and I paint
right,
and I skateboard
right?
and I
No,
promote.
you don't want to see me on a skateboard.
paint.
I don't even do that good on an electric scooter. Don't put me on a skateboard. I don't even go on skates at the roller rink anymore.
No.
No,
go to the
something
roller
tells me that this butt should not be on wheels under my feet right now. I have bones that break now.
Yeah.
I'm
We
not.
always
I'm
do.
brittle, big boned and brittle. No. But now at this point now, I want to enjoy because I don't go. Don't do this either. I don't go to the meetings anymore.
Yeah.
Because I do feel that in my recovery that I have right now, I do know that I'll go if I
Need
know
to go.
if I needed to
Yes,
go.
I
I'm
feel the same way.
not. Yeah, I'm not anti the
Yeah.
meetings. My problem with going to the meetings for me, was I found that I like to go into the cliques of people,
Mm-hmm.
and I like started like clicking. And what happened was I would click to the people that were the big book thumpers.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be with the smart people who knew
Yeah, of
everything.
course. You want to be. You're going to be in that group. You got to be.
And no matter what, no matter where I was, I just always did that. So I'm like, okay, well maybe I don't actually the rooms isn't really where I should be to do this because I don't think that I would get my right kind of recovery that I would need. So it's different for everybody. So for the while I was doing intherooms.com.
Okay.
They have if you've ever been on there,
online.
So in the rooms, I was doing some of the stuff in there. Yeah. So and then for a little while I've been in all else filled out. Google.com was my sponsor.
Yeah.
So when I had issues or problems and things about it, I would just Google stuff and it usually came back it was all right. But no, like I said, I think I got to keep it kind of simple.
Yeah.
And as far as because I think that if I expand beyond this, I think that I'd get overwhelmed.
Mm. And then you might be.
Well, because I like, well, one, financially, I just couldn't do it. Two, it's what I have now is enough. I have to
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
Because if not, because you don't want more,
Yeah, of
you want
course.
more, and then that's when it gets worse. But
But it is
you know,
enough. You have your own
it
store.
it
You got your
is.
own
I mean,
place.
that's a good word. I'm content,
Yeah.
not complacent. Content.
Yeah.
Very content. And hubby, he's retired now, so he's not working. So we gotta kind of manage the money a little bit better. Although he's the big reason. Sorry, I had to use all your money while you were in a coma, though.
But look where she's at. She's the ice queen.
Yeah, poor guy. He went in to have his back surgery in October, and they wound up having to put him on he wound up intubate him.
Okay.
He was out for. It's not funny, but
Dang.
it's not funny. But he was actually going through the withdrawals after the surgery,
no.
so
Yeah.
they had to intubate him to finish going through the
Yeah.
withdrawals and stuff. But which, yes, he drinks. Which I live with an alcoholic as well. But which is another good thing about having a solid sobriety.
Yeah.
But while he was sleeping, I went shopping.
Did all the fun stuff. You were lonely and you were.
That wasn't.
So I was gonna make excuses.
I can justify myself. Minimize and justify. Right? No. Actually, what it was he's a penny pincher kind of person.
Okay.
So in my sense of like, probably some people are like, oh, that wasn't right.
Yeah.
But he's the type of person. If I don't do it at the right time, I should say.
Yeah.
Like when I have to throw stuff away, I have to wait till that goes to Connecticut on vacation, or when he's
to go do it.
Then I throw things away. He's like a mini hoarder.
Yeah.
Mini hoarder.
Yeah.
Not bad. He's a mini hoarder.
He keeps the good stuff, but even
no,
though
not the good stuff either. But he won't let me. If I start throwing away, he gets anxiety when he
okay.
That
Yeah.
So I have to wait. So the same thing happened here when he was intubated. He says coma. He thinks I try to kill him.
Oh man!
He goes, they try to kill me. They have me in handcuffs and stuff. And no, those were mittens. So
those were mittens, so you don't hurt yourself.
So you don't pull all your tubes out.
Oh god!
So they've got these big white mittens on his hands.
Goodness.
But yeah, but so I went shopping and got all the stuff that I needed for the place or whatever. So we have a big investment. So what I was trying to get was that he was a huge part of my financial reason.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Stu too, I wouldn't be where I am either. So it took a lot of villagers.
Yeah.
To help this idiot. Which I can
awesome.
say that. I can call myself names. I can do that now.
I like that. I think that's the title of the episode.
But
Villagers help this idiot.
Yeah, it took a village to raise this idiot. You know, but yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It did take a lot of people to. I mean, I definitely didn't do it on my own. Although I had to do all the work on myself.
Yeah.
But as far as I was blessed with a big support group. In fact, sometimes I think while I was in the midst of getting sober during my sobriety, I would see other people's families, like my brother's ex-girlfriend, the kid's mom. They live up in North Carolina, and they all drink. They're alcoholics and stuff like that, but the parents aren't and stuff like that. And I used to think, man, why don't they get on them like they do? I wasn't allowed to drink around my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I had to sneak my drinks, and I had to, my whole family. I was in that family, which now I look back, I'm thinking, thank God.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't have that open thing where I could just drink whenever I felt. Forget you. I'm going to drink. I don't care what you say.
No,
because it wasn't allowed to. And then I could have been ignorant and just did it anyway.
Yeah.
Which I did, but behind the backs. But behind the backs, kept that liquor bottle underneath the bathroom and under the sink.
Yeah.
When I went to the bathroom, made a drink, that kind of thing. But openly though. Like they do. So I used to be kind of jealous of that, but now now I'm glad that they were the way they were now.
Yeah.
Because it made it harder for me to, But other than that, sobriety, starting a business is definitely a challenge in itself, but it's doable.
It is. And obviously you've been succeeding and growing with it.
Yeah.
So that's the important part, is the fact that you're growing and you've followed it through from your smallest little frozen ices in your freezer to a cart.
I'll send you some of the pictures for like I'll scatter pictures for you, like for a couple of the ones from like my little tent.
Definitely.
My little tent that I had and after I met Stu, I was still doing the tent when I met Stu, and I had a 10x10 tent and the thing, and then I was hauling this big old 8500 Generac generator.
Whoa.
Yep.
A lot of work.
Well, because I had to haul that stuff
Yeah.
myself. Because and nobody was there to help me, so I was bringing a 10.2 cubic foot freezer that I kept
Mm.
all the Italian ice in, and so I bought one of those little hydraulic table you pump with your foot and it lifts
Yeah.
things up. It's a table.
Oh, okay. And then you could just slide it and
Yeah,
stuff.
so that's what I was
Okay.
doing. So I figured out a way
Yeah.
how to, with this
There's the
will, there's
will,
a
there's a
way.
way.
So
Yep.
that's how I knew, and even today, that's how I knew I love what I do, because I normally I'm one of the people that would quit.
Yeah.
If it became too challenging, if I didn't get the satisfaction that I wanted
Yep.
early
You
on,
didn't get the.
I would quit. It was just too much work. This got to be something. I was that person back when I was in my 20s that I was writing into those places. You send $1,
Yeah.
and it said dollar. I was always looking for that fast, quick buck.
Of course.
Always, always, always. I was always looking for a way to make the money quicker.
Yeah, we gotta make that money fast.
Yeah, like the home assembly thing.
Yeah.
You send away for the kit
Yeah.
back in this in the 80s. I don't know if you remember this, but you might be too young for that.
A little bit.
But you send away for the little kits, and they would send you this thing. You put the little jewelry boxes and stuff like that, and you can make thousands of dollars. So of course,
Pyramid schemes.
me and my creative thing, I'm thinking, how do I find a way to make this faster?
Yeah.
Is there like a thing I can do? So I was always doing that, trying to find a way to make a quick buck and
Of
stuff.
course.
Yeah, but come to find out, hard work is the only way to do that.
Yeah, especially if you want to make your own money, then it's even more work, because you can do the Subway 9 to 5 and let them just pay you, and then you do that. But then you're stuck working on their time, doing their thing, or you can just start your own business like the ice cream.
Exactly,
and then still work all the time
and make happy smiles,
Yep.
which I think is probably another satisfactory a side effect.
And you get to see people constantly, the same people.
Well, because no
and
matter
you have like relationships with them, and it kind of builds like.
I am the person that makes your day brighter or happy, because nobody frowns when they come to get ice cream.
Of course not.
Because when they're coming to get ice cream, it's because they're happy, or they're wanting a dessert, or because they're a reward,
Of course,
or something like that. And besides, I just
makes you feel good.
Huh?
Makes you feel good.
The kids.
Of course.
The kids is another one. Even though sometimes they can get on my nerves, not the customer kids. Like, my I got that. Yeah. But no, but when the kids show up though, even though I'm having a bad day,
they get all excited.
I find a way. Yeah, there's just no way to have that growly face, or the just 5 seconds before they showed up, you were like in this, and as soon as they walk up to the counter, you're like, what's the we do? Oh, look at those cute ponytails, So because they don't know, they're there. All they know is ice cream. Ooh, and maybe the parent was there to do something, so you don't want to make it a bad experience.
Of course,
but I don't know. I love making people happy or smile. I'm always a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
This was a way of doing ice cream and desserts, is a way of doing it without me trying to do it to please myself in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
it's
it's satisfying to do, but now I found a way to put a smile on people's faces without being fake about it.
Yeah, and I feel the same way whenever I cook for my family.
So why don't you do something with the chef stuff? Probably the same reason that I don't crochet for a living.
Yeah, it's the same reason.
Write poetry for a living.
Yeah, it's just I like putting my love and effort into it. But if I was gonna have to work all day making everybody food,
okay, so then you don't. It's exactly how I feel about all my craft stuff.
Yeah,
the drawing or the poetry or anything like that is because I'm afraid that it's something I love to do. As a hobby, and I'm afraid that if I put it as a business,
it's not gonna be fun
I would
anymore.
lose that love for doing that, and I cherish it that much.
See, this is what I love. This podcast right here is really what I love. I don't get paid for it. I do take donations, but I would get paid for this, and I would love it.
You gotta donate.
But, I'm okay with not getting paid doing this.
Yeah,
I love what I do, so it works out.
And honestly, and that's how I also know that this is where, here we go, religious. This is where God wanted me to be, is because if I could do this for free, if I had a lot of money and something, I could do this for free, I would do it for free, and I would give out free ice cream because it's just, in general, it's satisfying. It's fun to do, and it's hard work. But I mean, obviously, if I had money, I'd have more helpers, and it'd be a lot easier. Yeah, less stressful.
And then you would go back to the little cart, and you could go
My little
do that.
push cart.
Your little push cart.
I don't know if I'd ever go back to that. I think that was a traumatic moment for me in the driveway, just like today was with the debit card.
Oh.
I have a lot of traumatic moments, but they're moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They move on.
What is that? They have a saying. It says, "Don't let one." I'll remember it. It has to do with like don't let one bad something of like ruin your whole entire life or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'll try to remember it too. But I do believe it's actually time for me to go.
Yes, actually, because hubby's out in the car with my sub.
Oh my goodness!
Speaking of which, yeah, I
I
know.
think I need to get some food too.
But yeah, you have to come by. I'm gonna. You know what? When you come by tomorrow, I'll feed you tomorrow for sitting.
Sweet.
You come by, you get a sub on me.
Great. Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for watching the Ice Queen.
Thank you for
Come
coming.
to the Ocala Mall, 3711 East Silver Spring Boulevard. Get yourself an icy sweet treat or sub. They're all perfect.
And then come sit with Juan and spill your guts and tell your life story and cry on the shoulder.
Yeah, I'll cry too. I will literally cry
You'll cry too.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, honey.
On Earth. Oh, you're done with the podcast. Well, thank you for watching this Random Life, and thank you for checking on our vendors. If you want to become a vendor, come on down to the Ocala Mall, 3711 East Silver Spring Boulevard. And if you want to be a part of the podcast, This Random Life, come on down to the Ocala Mall, 3711 East Silver Spring Boulevard. Remember, This Random Life is filmed in front of a live audience, and it is free to be on. So please donate to the cause. Thanks, fans. Thanks, friends. And thanks, family. Check you on the next one.